What's up, YouTube? This is Love Dom, and this is my second video, but my first travel video. So today I wanted to discuss the basics of traveling. So the most important thing to know before you travel in any of this is to be culturally competent in whatever area you decide to go to. Please be careful of how you dress, how you interact with others in different countries, because it can be considered rude or disrespectful, or you can get yourself into trouble. So, as you know, if you want to go anywhere, it costs money. So, the first thing is to understand the US currency versus the currency of the destination that you plan on traveling to. Most places outside of European countries, currency will be lower than the US dollar. So in those instances, because most countries value or currency is less than the United States, hotels, transportation, sightseeing, seeing attractions, and all of this stuff is relatively cheap. So the first thing that you're going to do is to pick multiple destinations, and you're going to rate from a top 10 list or a top 5 list, the least expensive to the most expensive. The reason why I'm saying this is just because a place is expensive doesn't mean you should just completely X that off your list. If you want to go there, you can budget and find a way to get there. So once you have your list of 10 places that you would like to travel, create a spreadsheet where you can go across and just create an average of how much it will cost for hotels, how much it will cost for transportation, how much it will cost for food, and how much it will cost to see attractions and just sightseeing. The first step after that would be to go to a currency converter or exchange. So once you have gone to this currency conversion website, you should add each value of the hotel, the transportation, sightseeing, and food. Total that amount up and enter that into the USD to whatever exchange so that you can see how much it would be in their currency, and you can also flip it to see how much it would be from their currency to your currency. Because a lot of things that you're going to buy, hotels and transportation, you'll probably buy in USD, but food and sightseeing, you'll probably be buying in their foreign currency because most of the stuff you can get there. So once you have the currency, you have now your budget of what you're aiming for to save. I would suggest to save monthly if you can. If monthly is not the goal, pick the least expensive destination that you can travel to and aim for that. And that least expensive destination should be within your budget of travels or extracurricular activity that you're going to do for that year. If you do not plan or budget for travel, you cannot travel. So my next piece of advice would be to look into which season you plan on traveling. I would suggest to look into the off-peak season versus the peak season, because you're guaranteed in the off-peak season to get a cheaper flight, cheaper hotel accommodations, cheaper traveling, and there's not going to be that many people around, so you don't have to worry about a crowd. But you have to look into if these off-peak seasons are low on price because it's hurricane season. You don't want to risk that. Next thing that I would tell you to do is to look into flights. And for flights, there's a bunch of websites that you can use. I personally use Google Flights. You can use Shop Hopper, Kayak, Orbitz, Skyscanner. There are a bunch of different websites that you can use that will give you a low fare on flight. I'm very scared that if I go to another country and say I purchase a ticket on a third-party website, that I may not be able to exchange it at the actual airlines, or I will have to call the third party in order to exchange the ticket. So I prefer to just go directly to Delta, United, Southwest, whoever the airline is. I prefer to go directly to their site and purchase the ticket. That way, if any problems arise, I can get a voucher, I can exchange immediately, I can make changes. But that's just my advice. Everybody does it differently. But because I travel internationally, I know that flights get canceled often, and during third party, if you do not read the terms and conditions, you may not receive a refund on your flight, and you could just be stuck, and we don't want that to happen. So you always need to look when you're purchasing from a third party website. Always read their terms and conditions to make sure you can change the flight, you can receive your money back or a voucher, and that you're okay. Because if you lose money, that will really suck. For me, after I've looked at the flights, the dates, and the times that I want to travel, I will go back or press track on each different website to see if the flights are going to go up, if they're going to go down, and just exactly when I should purchase a ticket. So the thing that I like about Google Flights, I haven't really explored outside of that, unfortunately, is that it lets me know if the carry-on bag is free, if I have to pay for a bag, how much the first, second, or third bag will be. And that's also beneficial. And once again, it's beneficial to go to the Delta, the United, whatever websites to see how much the bags will cost too, because I don't know if third-party websites let you know or if that's just added into the price. Now, after you've looked at your flights and tracked your flights, the next thing that I would suggest is to look into hotels. I do international traveling and accommodations now with my job, and the best piece of advice I can give you is to always stick to brands that you know. So Marriott, Holiday Inn, those are like brands that's mostly all around in different countries and places and that you can find. They would considerably be the safest. There's hotels that are low budget that's not safe, and you run the risk of getting your passport stolen, getting your money stolen, all of these things. And when you're also dealing with US brands for hotels, it's easy for you to get your money back. If you cancel it, Marriott will send you your money back, or the booking isn't due until you get to the hotel or whatever. It's easy for you to talk to someone here than booking a foreign hotel, and then they take your money and that's it, and you can't get it back. So that's always a plus. And if you decide not to do a hotel, Airbnb, I recently did an Airbnb in London, and it was safe for me because of the location that we chose. However, Airbnb may not be the best option for everyone. So once again, when you're looking into hotels, look into hotels and brands that we have here. So the next thing would be understanding transportation. So some places has Uber and Lyft, but not all of them do. I know that when I was in Georgia, I used a website or an app called Taxify. So I would suggest Googling into different types of taxi services in the destination that you're going to, and also asking the hotel if they provide transportation or taxi services to destinations that you would like to go to. Depending on the season, you may just want to walk and sightsee. And of course, always be careful when walking and sightseeing. If there is a safe in your hotel, please do not carry your passport. Just be very cautious about your surroundings and where you're going, and making sure you're not going along in certain places, and just being very cautious when you're traveling, because things do happen. So purchasing food, I would suggest that if you can, at your airport or when you get in country at their airport to exchange USD for whatever their currency is. It's just safe to carry their cash and have that on hand and run the risk of using your credit card or your debit card to purchase food on places that you're not sure. The gist or the most important thing about this video is just to understand that the value of our currency here may be way greater than the value of the currency somewhere else. And a lot of people stress about not having enough money, but we do have enough money. You just have to learn how to save and budget it out and to not be discouraged.